Good evening, everybody. Good evening and welcome. Give me 1 second here. I'm starting there we go. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for being here on this Sunday evening. For those of you who celebrate Easter, happy Easter. For those of you who see the occasion as virility, I acknowledge that as well, and just thank you guys for taking the time to be with us or with me tonight. So for those of you who might be new to the call, my name is Thomas Kuster, and I'm the founder of the Stages of Love, and this is a monthly complimentary conference call, and these calls take place the third Sunday of every month. And if you go to my website, thestagesoflove.com, there is a calendar that shows all the calls for the year and the topics. And tonight, our topic is peace. And it's entitled Peace as a, all bold, with italicized together. Peace together. Peace is one of the common desires of the heart. We all want it. In fact, we all want the same things. We all want peace, that is peace of mind, peace around us, joy, love, and happiness.
You are now muted.
And this call is my attempt to be a contribution to peace being available at the level of couple. And then beyond that, at the level of family. And beyond that, at the level of group. And beyond that, at the level of community. And eventually, who knows, at the level of the world. But it is going to start right here in this moment of now. And then in every millisecond of now that you recapture what's rightfully yours, and that is peace. Now, a little bit about how the call goes. For those of you who have been on the calls, you know how it goes, and I appreciate that you listen to this one more time. But there will be opportunities for people to share, to have their input, a request for coaching, anything that makes sense to you during the call. Everything's acceptable. And how you can be the biggest contribution is to be involved in this call without distraction. The call's not very long. It runs about 30 minutes. Sometimes it can go an hour, depending upon how much interaction we have. But the point really gets made in about 30 minutes. So if you could listen and bring your whole self to being here, it would make a tremendous difference for everybody, those people who are on this call and those people who choose to listen to the recording of the call. I'll open the lines and I'll say, who'd like to share, and you simply say your first name, and then I'll call on you. Don't worry, I have learned to give you a little time to create what it is you might share. So hopefully that'll work really, really well. So let's just start off with a principle that I think is extraordinary. The principle is designed by Dr. Gerald Jampolsky, and the principle goes like this. All that I give to myself. Now, in the context of a relationship with any other person, consider this principle of love. The principle is to give is to receive. To give is to receive. Within this principle, then, when we give our love away, that is open-heartedness. Open-heartedness See, the heart is where energy flows. And love, we refer to, at the stages of love, we refer to it as aliveness, as life energy. And in order for that energy to move through you, you must practice being open-hearted. So aliveness, that is our life energy, when we give that to others, we, that is you and I, gain. And whatever we give, we simultaneously receive. Now, of course, this isn't in the physical domain, but in the spiritual, non-physical energy domain, which we won't dig into a lot here, but there's nothing you really need to know beyond that. If I open my heart and I give myself, give my love, give my aliveness, give my life energy, it is immediately, like simultaneously, I am getting it too. It's based on abundance, that you are and always are completely filled with this love, with this life energy, with this aliveness all the time. We give with no expectation. And when we do that, that aliveness, that love, that life energy, it expands and it extends. Every single one of you on this call, every single person listening to this recording can find a time in your own life when the experience was palpable. It was very real for you. Unfortunately, it may not happen or be there as often as we'd like, which is the reason why we're having this meeting tonight. Because if we all want the same thing, now think about that. If it's a fact that we all want the same thing, and that is peace, love, joy, and happiness, if we all want that, then you, listen closely, you never have to guess what people want from you and what you can give. Now think about it. You and I get stuck in one domain. Even those of you who are, that you're so spiritual, right? And you're dealing with and getting involved into the spiritual domain, sometimes may not realize that you also must be powerful in the physical domain. This line of teaching and working and digging that I'm doing this year, called the Quantum Series, it is to strengthen myself and to be a contribution to you, strengthening yourself in not only seeking the spiritual laws and practicing them, but simultaneously and as importantly, dealing with the physical laws as well, so that you can have power in both domains. But for tonight, we're focusing on the spiritual element, because you see, this kind of love is inclusive. Think about it. This love is inclusive. My love for you is inclusive of your quirks. My love for you is inclusive of your upsets. It's inclusive of all the times you've missed the mark or may ever miss the mark again in the future. This kind of love allows you to see someone instead of their character, their identity, their ego, it allows for seeing the true self underneath. Now, I think, and it feels like that you're all with me. You see it, and you know that it's got truth that carries it, and yet you can't help but see. You want to give, you do. I think all of us do, don't we? And you want to, but yet it gets stopped or thwarted. By what? Well, there's some kind of a threat, you see. There's a threat that goes on, but if I asked you what is threatened, it might be difficult for you to see right away. So we're going to name it, and you will see more than just the name I give it. And in a moment, you'll have an opportunity to chime in, because I'm going to ask you to consider your attachments. See, try on that you are attached to something or many things. You are attached. It hides underneath the pretense of commitment. But until you can authentically distinguish attachment from commitment, you will be attached and will likely not see it right away. Now, the very nature of being attached gives way to resistance. You see, if I'm attached to something, then I will resist anything that might seem able to take that away from me. So it gives way to resistance, and resistance by its very nature blocks the flow of this life energy, this love, and it robs us of the experience of peace. So I want you to start to think, what are you attached to? Just take a moment and think it through, and I'll share with you some of the ones I see for myself. Like, I know, I was watching a program. It was a political program, and I was very in touch with, actually it was a movie. We went to see The Zookeeper's Wife, and it was very, very great. And I noticed that I would say to you, I am committed to freedom. I am committed to my freedom, to your freedom. I'm committed to the freedom we enjoy in this country. But what I realized, I'm attached to freedom. I'm attached to it. And then that led to me noticing, gosh, I'm attached to being gotten. And by the way, when I say being gotten, it's the same as when I said earlier that this quantum love gives you the ability to see beyond one's character, identity, and ego, but the true self underneath. That's what I would say is being gotten. If you get me, you see beyond my character, you see beyond my identity, you see beyond my ego, and you are in touch with the soul of who I am. I'm also noticed, I was about to say I'm also noticing, but I noticed before I got on the call that I'm attached to financial freedom. I'm even attached to being treated well. And if I just take a look at my relationship and I say, what am I attached to in my relationship? Well, I have a number of expectations, and I would say some of those are attachments. I am attached that I am treated with the utmost respect. I'm also attached to I am the primary figure in my spouse's life. I noticed that was an attachment that I had. So those name a few. Hopefully it helped to stimulate a few for you. And I'm going to open the lines now and just ask that you share a bit of your own attachments. And by the way, as always, you have the freedom to share anything related to the call.
You are now unmuted.
Okay, the lines are open. Just say your first name if you'd like to put something in. So what is it that you find yourself attached to?
This is Cheryl.
Thank you, Cheryl. Hi.
Hi. I think I find myself attached to safety, to whatever feels safe, whatever feels comfortable, or in that little box,
That's really good. That's really, really good. Thank you. Awesome. Can we get one more person to get up the courage to step into this little pond? What are you attached to?
Joanne.
Yeah, Joanne. Hi.
Hi. I'm attached to the well-being of the people around me, like my daughters, my puppy.
Yes, very good.
In addition to the ones that you said, financial freedom, my freedom, right to do when I want, how I want, wherever I want, right?
Right. I mean, gosh, it's amazing. Really, it's amazing.
Just a side note, Thomas, you're going in and out. It's getting harder to hear you as the call progresses.
Oh, thank you, Joanne. Thank you for telling me. Is that better? I start speaking kind of low. Is that better or worse? I'm going to move this microphone around. You tell me. This is better. All right, now I won't move from here. I'm going to stay in this spot. Anybody else? Can we get one more? Okay. Well, what I'd like to do now then is distinguish for you attachment versus commitment. And Joanne, if I start going out again, if you would just text me and I'll watch for the text to come through, okay?
Okay.
You are now muted.
And everybody is muted at this point, so if you try to yell out at me, I won't be able to hear, so the text will come through. So then, what is attachment versus commitment? Well, let's start with distinguishing commitment. When I'm committed to something, it simply means that I'm going to use my resources, whatever those resources are, be them physical, spiritual, collective resources, but I'm going to use my resources in the fulfillment of that whichever I'm committed to. So being committed to freedom would include things like what Joanne said. It would include being interested in the freedom of my neighbor, the freedom of my family, the freedom of my loved ones, but it would also be very interested in the freedom of those with whom I have no actual contact. That would be a commitment. A commitment is very inclusive and very open. It provides something everywhere, not just right here. So that's one indicator of being attached. When I'm attached, it is a very me conversation, and it can also be a very us conversation. Us meaning maybe the freedom for myself and the freedom for my family. That could still be an attachment versus a commitment. The other thing about being attached is you are holding on to something. You can generally feel it in your body. And the holding on to it drives a particular kind of energy which actually blocks the movement and flow of life energy, love, aliveness. When I'm committed, I'm able to let go, because commitment says all of my life energy is required. So being open-hearted, being available, no matter what direction it goes, should there be a breakdown, that is a thwart or a stop to my commitment, or something that gets in the fulfillment of my commitment, I don't close my heart. I view being open-hearted as a way to move with life unfolding, because I don't know all the answers. Yet, as all of you might see for yourself, we always think that we do. We actually believe that what we believe is the closest thing to the truth. So how I want to start wrapping up the call is attachment is a kind of war with spirit. And when you are internally at war with your true self, peace is unattainable. So this love, life, energy, aliveness is what I call quantum love, and I want to leave you with quantum love is always the answer. It's always the answer. It sees through the haze. It sees through the clouds of anger and jealousy and possessiveness, etc. It breaks up the lie, the misguided perception that whatever's happening around you is permanent. It allows for you to see that all things pass, and to be attached is a lie. It stops the perpetuation of life being experienced now and now and now and now. And if I funnel this all the way down into the couple, I would leave you with this. Be soulmates. Soulmates, I don't think, are predestined, and I don't think being soulmates is innate. Instead, being soulmates is actively seeking the soul in the other and connecting at that level. And in order for that to happen, I've got to be very interested in releasing the soul over here. And I invite you to practice that this month. So there's a few things coming up. This Thursday in Fresno, I'll be presenting The Heart Shift. It is a 3-hour program from 7 p.m. until 10 p.m. If you register on my website or through any of the links that I've sent out, you can register for $20. You do not have to be there in person. You can live stream with us. And then this time next month, May 21st at 6 p.m., will be our free conference call. And for those of you who are interested in a highly transformational, kick-ass day, in August, we'll be presenting the Quantum Shift. It's a full-day program followed by 3 webinars, one Thursday night per week. So it's one all-day Saturday, and then the 3 following Thursday nights, which would be 2-hour webinars. It's a tuition of $495. If you attend either live streaming or in person the Fresno event coming up, there will be a discount offered and you'll be able to register for $297. If you have any questions, have anything you want to contribute, please email me at thestagesoflove@gmail.com. Also, you can text me at 916-459-5704 if you'd like the link for registration on either of those programs. So I want to acknowledge everybody for being here. I am going to open the line one more time just in case there's anything out there that needs to get spoken.
You are now unmuted.
Hi. This is
Okay, the lines are unmuted. Who was that?
This is Susan Buki. Hi, Tom.
Hi, Susan. Good to hear you.
It was wonderful to hear you, and I just, without any big story, David is my soulmate, and I so got what you said about the part of exploring his soul, like coming. And I'm very interested in this topic, so I'll do my best to attend one of, whatever I can. And thank you.
Yeah, very good. Thank you,
Wonderful.
Susan.
Thank you.
Thanks, baby. Anybody else? Okay, everybody. Thank you very, very much for being here. Love you all. Good night.
Thank you, Thomas. Good night.